Hi there, it's Mark here from Mark My Words, and today's video is all about how to conquer feelings of failure. Failure is something that is a part of life, and sometimes when you've had a serious life setback, the feelings of failure can be overwhelming. And today I'm got a few minutes here to share some things that I did to help me overcome my feelings of failure after my serious marriage and business collapse that happened a few years ago now. I was the guy, I was the guy who prided myself in, making progress in life and kicking some goals, having a good family, having a healthy family, having a thriving business, and staying reasonably fit and healthy. And I just wanted to maximize life. I wanted to have a sense of freedom, financial, mental, physical, spiritual freedom. I was all about that. Still am today more than ever. But what happened to me was that rug was completely pulled out from underneath me, and it came as a shock. It came as something which I didn't see coming. I didn't see it was heading towards me, and I now know, with the benefit of hindsight, why some of those things happen. But hindsight is a great thing. I wish we could sometimes live in hindsight, but that's not a reality. But looking back, I've learned some things since that time that has helped me just get back on top internally so that I could get back on top externally. And by that I mean, failure is something which that feeling can really try to suppress you, and you can see yourself as a failure. Can I challenge you to have a different mindset towards that belief system? Failure is an experience that happened in the past. It's not a condition of who you are today. Now, you might be in a position right now where you are managing the fallout of a setback, of a life experience that happened which was negative, that caused loss and pain and a brokenness, right? You might be in that place right now where you're managing the fallout of that. That is a past event. Now you have to get to a point where I had to get to a point where I started to have some serious self-talk and start to talk to myself around, Mark, you're either going to be a victim of this or have victory over this. And how I transitioned and how you'll need to transition is to start to speak to yourself in a language that is full of life and hope and victory, as opposed to defeat, hopelessness, and failure. So failure is an experience that happened in the past, not a condition of who you are today. You are not a failure. You are, in your mind, the new you is now a overcomer. You can conquer what you're facing into. There is a way through it. There is a way around it. There is a way over it. There is a way somehow under it. You'll get through it, providing you focus on what that looks like. And for me, having a relatively healthy family, relatively healthy financial base, relatively healthy self-esteem, to losing my family, losing my finances, and losing my confidence as a result of my setback was what I call being torpedoed, and you may relate to it. But to turn your life around, you've got to dig deep and go, you know what? To heck with that. I'm now ready to make a comeback. And so I'm now going to speak to myself in a different language to what I have been. There's a transition on how you speak to you, because your language, your self-talk, is only very powerful when it comes to making a mighty comeback in your life. It's not that you're trying to not acknowledge what's happened. Certainly learn from what's happened and understand what's happened, and try not to make those same mistakes again if in fact they were your fault, or even if they weren't. There will be some lessons in what happened to you. I promise there are lessons that you can learn to strengthen you as to become a better version, a more powerful, more robust version of who you are meant to be. But the reality of it is that what you focus on, what you think about is what you bring about. And so in the depths of my frustration, I consciously decided to start to think about what I actually wanted again. And it's tough, when you've had a dream and you've gone for it and achieved a relative level of success, to have it all taken away and then to do it again. You have that fear. Oh, Mark, those self-doubts, those creeping doubts, those voices in your head that go, what makes you think you can do that again? What makes you think that you are able to overcome? You had that once, you lost it. Who do you think you are to actually be able to get it back plus more? And those voices will come at you. They came at me. I had to shut them down. I had to shut them out and start to really focus in on what I wanted and start to really bombard my mind with content that was going to encourage those self-building, self-belief mindset thoughts. My soul realm had to be healthy. And so I had to be very deliberate around what I focused on, what I listened to, what I read, and who I hung around to help me rebuild my inner person so I could rebuild my external world. And, I talk to a lot of guys who are in the depths of it right now. They've had a major setback. They've had a relationship breakdown. They've had financial setback. And that's because sometimes we can define who we are by what we have or don't have, and that's an unhealthy way to go. You might define who you are with or by, the house you live in or the car you drive or the clothes you wear. That's not who you are. That's a reflection. That's just stuff. Who you are has to be anchored in a lot more solid foundation than the type of car you drive, clothes you wear, a house you live in, or even if you're married or unmarried or kids or whatever. Right? It's who you are as a person. Who are you? Are you a winner? Are you an overcomer? Are you a unique, one-of-a-kind individual there's not one of you on the planet like you, and you're on the earth for a reason, you're for a purpose, to add value in some capacity to humanity. Now, you might not feel like you are right now, but I promise you the truth is, in your life, you're not a mistake. You're here for a reason, and you've had a temporary setback, setback in your life that's pulled the carpet from underneath you. So now it's a matter of rebuilding. Now your story is going to be a powerful overcoming story that will inspire so many potentially. But you now have to start to rebuild, and the cornerstone to rebuilding and overcoming those feelings of failure is to start to really consciously decide to chase out the negative voices in your head and replace those voices with voices of encouragement, voices of life, voices that are going to cause you to build up your inner person so you are strengthened on the inside. You start to walk a little different, talk a little different. You start to look at the future more than you look at the past. You look at life through the windscreen of your life, not through the rear view mirror of your life. It's so important that you make that decision to do that and to focus on those positive, uplifting, encouraging visions for your life and the content that goes in through your ears and through your eyes and the people who you hang around. Those key programming mechanisms have to be in place for you to make a mighty comeback. And I know you can do it. There's no question you can. If you are willing to get up out of bed every day, look at yourself in the mirror, and even if you're feeling like crap, okay, you look at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself and say, you're a winner, you're an achiever, you're an overcomer. I can overcome this. I've got this, right? I can do it. If someone else can do it, I can do it. I'm unique. I'm special. I'm on the planet for a purpose. Now, you might say that's just self-talk and positive. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Positive self-talk is what you need. And you think, well, I don't even believe that. Well, fake it. Fake it till you make it, right? Because when it becomes a habit, as 21 days till change, and there's a saying which says 21 days till change, right? You do something for change a new habit for 21 days, it'll become a part of your subconscious. It'll become a part of who you are. So when you get out of bed, you look at yourself and you go, hey, you're a winner, you're an overcomer, you're an achiever. You might not even feel like you are right now when you start to do that for the first time. But after day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, all of a sudden the new you starts to come to the surface. All of a sudden things that look like insurmountable challenges in your life, you look and you go, you know what? Instead of being mountains, they become molehills, right? You'll hydroplane over the top of them because your inner person is enlarged. You're a special individual. You're on the planet for a reason, and you've had a setback, a life experience. It's not who you are. Your best days are ahead. You have to believe that, and that's what will happen to you, I promise, providing you guard your heart with what goes on in here. It's the engine room of your life. By what you listen to, what you read, and who you hang around. And start speaking to yourself in a way, an overcoming victorious language. Okay? You can do it. I know you can. If you like this video and you are looking for a source of content that's going to help you overcome and become, consider subscribing to this channel. We upload videos on a weekly basis to inspire you to overcome and become more, to help you fast track your comeback from your serious life setback. I've got some resources in the descriptions panel below. You might want to check those out. There's a link to my 10 bold steps. They're the 10 steps that I took to completely rebuild my life after my marriage and business collapse. They're yours today free as a free download. Just click on the link. I will ask you for your email address, and I'll be able then to email those straight to your inbox. You'll have those to reflect on and to study and apply, because I know they can work for you. Because they work for me, they can work for you. So until next time, I'll see you on the next video.